Okay, we are live. Golly gee whiz. There are some more choice words I prefer to say right now, but this is a family-friendly show, and we're good. Welcome in, everybody. It's the Gut Reaction episode, the Mile High Huddle podcast. I'm your host, Chad Jensen, and with me is my fellow football priest. You know him. You love him, Zack Kelberman. Zack, in back-to-back weeks, the Denver Broncos have saved their worst football for last. Consecutive games squandering a fourth quarter lead. The defense melts down, relinquishing a big scoring drive in the fourth quarter, a big, stupid lapse by Talanoa Hufanga. Bo Nix can't get it done. Your gut reaction.
Man, what is there to say about this one? There's so much to unpack, Chad. First of all, I've said it a billion times about VJ. When his defense needs to come up clutch in crunch time, they wither, they fall apart. They always give up the tying score, the go-ahead score, what have you. There's a lot to put on certain individual players and the coaches. The offense, when you play not to lose and you coach not to lose, you tend to lose the football game. Bo Nix missed way too many throws he should have made, Chad. It's a game of inches, and the Broncos just came up that much short. The Chargers played better football. There's a lot of, again, for the second week in a row, a lot of hands in the cookie jar. And what it boils down to for me, macro view, coaching once again.
A good illustration of how this game went is the quarterback stat line with Justin Herbert. Yeah, he had that pick on the tip pass, but 300 passing yards on 47 attempts and a touchdown. Bo Nix, 153 passing yards on 25 attempts, a touchdown. But his rating, he was very inefficient. He was very off target today. And unfortunately, it's one thing, Zack, when you're off target on an underneath 2nd and 7, you're like, dadgummit, or first down or whatever. But when you are off target on gotta have it plays where you deep shot it and your dudes have space, they have the separation, and you just straight up miss. It's hard not look. A lot of like you said, a lot of people with their fingerprints on this loss, but Bo Nix is a big reason this team lost today, and the Broncos have to start reckoning with the fact that 3 games into the season, he is not answering the bell.
If you put with how undisciplined the Broncos were, can we talk about the flags for a second, Chad? Every other play, you saw yellow on the field. This is such an undisciplined team. But if you flip the quarterbacks and you put Justin Herbert on this Broncos team, they would have won in a blowout today. Quarterback was a major factor, coaching the defense. But I agree with you. If Bo Nix was better and made those throws, they would be 2-1, not 1-2. And that's a big difference through week 3.
Guys, we're going to get to Super Chat here in just a second. I want to remind you, though, guys, while we're here, connect with us on X. My part here, Zack Kelberman, as you can see on the screen, at Kelberman NFL, myself at Chad and Jensen. And in the description of this video is a link for you to sign up for our free Denver Broncos newsletter, where we drop daily Denver Broncos news and analysis in your inbox, and it's free. All you got to do is sign up, click the link in the description below. Let's get to Super Chat, Mr. Producer, because this one is salty. Riptide, pathetic. Thank you for the Super Chat, big dog. Thank you for being a member and supporting us. And I agree. Diamond Rattler, what's going on, brother? Yep, he says on Super Chat, I'm over Nix. Everything just seems to be coming hard to him. It's not on the same level here, Zack. I don't want this to be taken out of context or misconstrued, but kind of like I'm getting vibes from Bo this year, Zack, similar to the peak of the Drew Lock era, where it's just like nothing quite connects, nothing quite comes easy, nothing quite clicks. Now, it's early yet. No one should be running for the cliff, I'm going to tell you. But Bo Nix is as big a perpetrator in the Broncos 1 and 2 start as anybody.
It's so funny that you bring up Drew Lock, Chad. And first of all, I want to preface this quick comment by saying I'm not exonerating Bo Nix at all. I mean, if you boil down the pie chart for the blame here, I think Bo Nix would have the majority. But I still wonder, and I do now as I did back then with the Drew Lock era, what Bo Nix would look like with more consistent and better play calling. I still have that question in my mind, and it makes me kind of angry. I'm not going to lie.
Riptide, we're sharing a brain. Says, if I close my eyes, that was Drew Lock out there. I know at times it's just like slightly out of sync, slightly off target, close but no cigar, the story of the Drew Lock era. That's what it's felt like this season so far. Now, Bo Nix started slow last year, found his momentum in October. With this schedule, guys, you can't wait till October to turn it on. Sorry. Like, you're not going to be able to survive that this time. Colin, good to see you, buddy. Thank you for the super chat. Says, so D-line sucks last week and then the O-line this week. All I can do is laugh at this point. Yeah, the Broncos have a lot to fix. You know, Sean Payton's hyping this team up, calling them a Super Bowl. What is it? His 7th team that he views early as a Super Bowl contender, blah, blah, blah. That has absolutely blown up in his face, at least early. The early returns, that's egg, like that. All right. So it's sometimes all you can do, Colin, is laugh. That's it.
Yeah, it's 2 gut-wrenching field goal defeats at the last second when the Broncos snatched defeat from the jaws of victory. Like Chad said, it's comical from what we've been through in the last decade. We thought we were over it, but the PTSD still strikes. And what can we do at this point besides really laugh?
Be rad. It's hip to be rad. What's up, dude? Thanks for being a member. Thanks for the super chat. He says 3 wide open receiver overthrows. Nix is struggling, and it isn't pretty. Unless the Chargers charger, we aren't winning anything. I see a repeat of last year where we get swept by them. Also, 4th and 1, punt. What the heck? Look, I don't blame him for punting there. I really don't, because if you don't get it, they've got a short field to go down. They score. It's easy to be the Monday morning quarterback on this. Whereas, hey, man, do you trust your defense or not? I don't blame Sean Payton for trusting his defense to, hey, if our punter creates a long field, which he did, my defense is going to go out there and make it hard on them. And they didn't. It was like a hot knife through butter, and it wasn't helped, obviously, Zach, by Talanoa Hufanga's egregious lapse of poise and discipline. And that freaking, this is a WWE, my dog. What are you doing body slamming dudes multiple seconds after the whistle is blown? Egregious. And you're supposed to be a team captain. You're supposed to be leading people. Out of control.
Completely undisciplined, Chad. That stems from the coaching. We talked about it in the Vic Fangio era, speaking of Drew Lock. The 4th and 1 play, if I recall, they were super backed up. Wasn't it like their own 20-yard line? So I'm with you. If not, it was in their own territory. And I'm with you. It's easy to side with Peyton on that play call, but it's the others. It's the inconsistent conservative play calling, and then he gets aggressive in the 4th quarter. Where is that in the first 3 quarters? Why are you so limited? And then you break out and let Bo Nix be Bo Nix when you have to have it. Where is that early on in the first half? That's not what we pay a coach $18 million to be, Chad.
No doubt. Eric Holt, good to see you, big dog. Thanks for the super chat. I want to invite you. Diamond Rattler, Colin, Eric, my brother, become a member on YouTube. Support us. We're dropping a Discord server here in about a week. We're going to kick off the MHH conversation there very, very soon. And we're going to have a lot of special members only stuff. Become a member. Eric says, another game we gave away. 4th and 1, go for it. I get we were on the Charger side of the field, but coach, to win the game. You can blame VJ, but the buck stops with Sean Payton. I mean, I just think that's an easy thing to say in the wake of how it unfolded. In the moment, I don't blame him. I really don't. I think that's nowhere close to a hill. Pardon me. I'm dying on.
Who hired VJ? And there was some pushback on that, but that's a Sean Payton call. So I agree with the rest of the message, Eric. Again, 4th and 1, I'm siding with Sean there, but this stops with Sean Payton. The pre-snap penalties, the flags in general, how undisciplined and how uncoordinated beyond that, Chad, they look. That's from the head coach. And I'll be fair, I ragged on Hackett for it. I ragged on Fangio for it. VJ, when he was the head coach, we had the same criticisms. We have to say the same and more, by the way, about the guy, as I just said, making $18 million, second highest paid head coach in the NFL, and he has his team not ready and not prepared oftentimes in the first and second quarter. It is completely beyond the pale, Chad.
It is. Thanks again, Eric. Appreciate you, big dog. Papa Bear, a member, a superstar, saying nothing to say, but he's staying true to his hashtag 11 and 5. Hey, man. Obviously, the odds aren't looking good for that at this stage at 1 and 2 now. But hey, anything's possible. It is the league. Taylor, a valued member and a bona fide superstar, saying, we're not ready, guys, to compete. Darren Rizzi needs to be fired immediately. I'm losing faith, fellas. The same old Broncos that can't close out games. That has been outside of the Russell Wilson, Sean Payton season, 2023, where they had a lot of fourth quarter close game wins. That's been we'll call it a trend, a hallmark so far, Zach, of the Sean Payton, Bo Nix era. Can't close.
And I hope the media will start to push back on the cronyism that takes place in the Sean Payton coaching staff and really his entire roster. I understand firing Kotwika because the special teams had miscues last season, but to bring in a guy because he's simply your buddy doesn't cut it when he is not better, comparably or worse than he is compared to the replacement. I don't know about firing him, but he needs to be under the microscope because I am all the way out right now on Darren Rizzi as a special teams coordinator.
I don't blame anybody for losing faith at this stage, by the way. Lady D jumping in from the top rope. Thank you for that generous super chat, my friend. And thank you for being a member. She says, does our awesome superstar on the Mount Rushmore, Lady D, evening, everyone. Super disgusted with losing to another field goal. Coaching. O-line simply stunk. So let down. We needed a win. Bo Nix, what the hell? Again, super disappointing. MHH for life. I mean, to me, yeah, we can point to all the ways it went wrong today and what didn't show up and this and that. But the most frustrating aspect of this game is you started out in a hole, stepping on your own you-know-what at every turn. You managed to swing momentum back in your favor at the bottom of the second quarter, and you turned it on. You capitalized on that momentum swing by getting 2 scores in the second half in the third quarter. To only disappear in the fourth, you have a lead, right, and then you just decide, I guess we got this. We're good. Okay. Justin Herbert's like, thanks, sucker. Easy. So that's the most disappointing thing. Once again, is you had the game. You were winning this thing by not Zach a point, not 3 points, a touchdown, and you end up losing by a field goal.
Did you see when Herbert got the ball back on the final drive? He got on the field, Chad, with a limited time remaining pressure situation and just calmly marched the Chargers within field goal range. Workmanlike, systematic. He picked the Broncos apart as he did twice last season, or at least in the second matchup. So that's the difference in the game. We could talk about Sean Payton, and he's definitely to blame. I haven't put a question out on Twitter. Should he give up play calling to Davis Webb? But the quarterbacking was a major issue. We saw it already this season, and we can't hide from it today. Bo Nix was a problem.
Workmanlike and yet elite. That touchdown throw at the end in the fourth quarter. I mean, dude, that's just the kind of play that a genuinely special quarterback like Justin Herbert can make. And I had my doubts about him, guys who've been with us long enough to remember. I had my doubts about him, and he has proven me utterly wrong. I'm happy to admit it, as much as it pains me. Friendly Giant jumping in on Super Chat. Thank you, buddy.
Thank you.
How many throws that should be automatic do we have to miss before we admit there's a problem? Not one player on this team has the clutch gene. I agree on the clutch gene factor. The Bo Nix thing, I think he's just in a funk. I don't think you're going to be able to find an actual explanation. It's just he's in a funk. It's a second year. But this team's inability as a trend dating back to last season to fully close out games, it's a problem because this is the league, man. They almost always come down to the wire. And if you don't have the upper hand, or you don't understand how to stay poised, heads up, and execute in those critical moments, everything else you've done in the game up until that point is for naught.
And what's funny is, and ironic, the way you get that clutch gene is winning those close games, is persevering, not giving it away, not snatching defeat from the jaws of victory, as we've seen the Broncos do twice this year already, and one last season at least, top of mind in that first Kansas City game. It starts from the quarterback and the head coach. What more can we say?
Yes, indeed. Naj, my brother, thank you for jumping in on Super Chat.
Thank you, Naj.
Talk about an OG Mount Rushmore superstar. He says, brutal, bros. That sick feeling for another week. Bo missed 3 open deep passes. Let's not forget Mims wide open deep. We really need to figure out covering the backs out of the backfield. Painful, but it's early. Now is not the time to panic. I agree. It's not the time to panic, But I do think it's fair to begin to ask serious questions. Serious questions like, hey, no more taking it easy on old Coach Payton because, he's the guy that will bite back, he'll snap back. No, put the freaking screws to him. Make him accountable in hopes that he holds everyone else accountable. Like, it's starting to feel like it's sliding off the rails a little bit. When you continue to give up fourth quarter leads and you lose, and that happens, guys start losing confidence. Pretty soon you start risking guys disengaging from the buy-in. They were bought in, we're in on this, and then they start tuning out their position coach. They start, falling asleep in Sean Payton's meeting. By game day, they're already thinking about what they're going to have for dinner tonight. You don't want that. It's time for serious questions. Casey Nickel, good to see you, big dog. Longtime superstar, saying Bo Nix is overthrow, Bo Nix overthrow, Bo Nix overthrow. I'm so sick of it. And the flags, my God, I'm done. I hear you, buddy. The flags especially, I mean, yes, we've touched on Bo again, but penalties today for the Denver Broncos, I mean, I'm almost afraid to look at it. 10 penalties today, Zach, 90 yards. Chargers 3 for 25.
And all Sean Payton talked about was cleaning up the penalties, being better before the snap, coming out hotter, starting off more consistent and efficiently. And the Broncos have done none of that through 3 weeks. They've looked good in spurts and quite horrible in other spurts. You're right, Casey. The mims, the trick, the flea flicker play, it was on Bo Nix to me. Not a clean pocket, but he has to set his feet when he throws. That's still a problem. He's jump passing. That should have been a completion. He had a few of them. Again, that's why a lot of blame today is on Bo Nix.
Mile high till the day I die. That's a cool handle, buddy. Thank you for the super chat. Welcome. Not to go for it on 4th and 1 is insane. Another game dropped by coach, in my opinion. I mean, I don't know how many more topics are on the 4th down, Scott. I'm happy to take every one. We do not ever ignore a super chat. But I got to tell you guys, that's not the hill to die on, man. You were in your own territory nursing a touchdown lead. The Colts still have not punted in this season. Last time I checked, even they would be remiss to try going for it just because, I don't know, the percentages aren't with you there. If it was inches, I mean, I don't know. Mile High jumps in again to say, I absolutely blame him for the punt. How many times can we repeat, play to win, don't play not to lose? Because every time it comes back to bite us. I hear you. I feel you. And you are totally within your rights to feel that way. But let me ask you something, and this is kind of more, you don't have to, it's more rhetorical here, okay? How would you have felt if Sean Payton rolls the dice on that fourth down? They don't get it. Chargers on a short field, 30 yards, drive down, score. It's easy to say now because we know that on the next possession after that punt, they scored. It's easy to say that now. But in the moment, he goes for it. They don't get it. Chargers drive down, tie up the game. I'm sure you would have been MFing him, right? What a moron. How could, I like the aggression, but you got to be a better decision maker. That's the kind of thing we'd be hearing. I disagree respectfully, big dog. Your thoughts, Zach? Then we'll grab TDB.
Yeah, well, similar to last week about the field goal, from where I stand, the Broncos shouldn't have put themselves in a position where the game came down to a 4th and 1 play call. Good teams overcome those things, and good teams aren't even in those situations. That's the best terms of avoidance, is not to be in a situation to begin with. And if the Broncos played more consistent, better in the first half, we wouldn't even be talking about that 4th and 1.
TDV will be right back to you, buddy. Omar's jumping in from the top rope, an OG,
Thank you, Omar.
Member. Thank you for that very generous super chat, big dog. Really helping us keep the lights on, really helping us keep adding new fun things and content for you guys on YouTube as the channel continues to grow. So thank you, Omar. Dude, top rope, you the man.
Yeah. Thank you, Omar.
TDV 22. Thank you for the super chat, big dog. Welcome. All I can do is laugh. I'll give the Broncos credit here. They are very consistent at taking one step forward and then immediately taking 35 steps back. I'm using humor to cope. There's a reason why gallows humor is a thing. Sometimes that's all you can do. But, again, it reminds me very much of that's a good way to we used to talk about that all the time, man. Drew Lock in the Fangio era would be 1 step forward, 2 steps back. 2 steps forward, 3 steps back. Dadgum. Never quite staying ahead of the sticks, never quite, staying on the front foot. And that's just kind of how it feels right now, Zach. A struggle bus on offense.
We saw one game where the Broncos offense was good and one game where they weren't. One game the defense was good, one game where they weren't. What's today? They were mostly good on defense and they were mostly bad on offense. They still have yet to put it together for all 4 quarters.
Our friend Chris, an OG superstar, jumping in with a symbolic gut reaction.
Thank you,
Total
Chris.
points scored times the wins, number of wins. Thank you for that, big dog. Appreciate your consistency, and it's so cool. What a tradition. So much yellow on the field. Missed opportunities again. Man, they had a chance. Anyhow, let's support the MHH team and click those little thumbs up. Thank you, bro. Really appreciate you, Chris. We don't take that lightly, buddy. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chris. We got Jordan Mall, $2 super, a member, VIP member. Thank you so much, Jordan. We just can't close, and that's true. The Broncos haven't learned to win yet, and especially, Chad, win against elite in superior teams, quote unquote. That was the rap on them last season. They didn't beat a playoff contender. And maybe, just maybe now, after seeing today, there's something to it until proven otherwise.
There's definitely something to it because the trend is the trend. I mean, the numbers are the numbers, unfortunately. Right wing nut job jumping in. Thank you, pal. Appreciate the super chat. Very generous. Bo Nix is the reason we lost today. He has not played like a starting NFL QB this year. It's time for Stidham. I mean, Zach, we were joking about him being the 34th ranked quarterback heading into week 3 by PFF. Do you think there's any merit to what he's saying here, that he's not playing like a starting NFL quarterback and that it's time for Stidham?
It's not time for Jarrett Stidham. We forget that Bo Nix is still only in his second season, and that's still very infantile in terms of a young quarterback's development. He was kind of fast-tracked because of the success he enjoyed in 2024, but he was still a project, even especially during that playoff game. You could argue that he's the reason that they lost, but I don't think they're going to Jarrett Stidham just yet, Chad.
Just jumping in, welcome. A lot of newer names on Super Chat today that we don't recognize. So welcome, man. Great to have you guys. Glad that you found us. Appreciate the support. Thank you. Just saying, can we turn it over to Davis and Jim? Sean is a garage head coach. Head coach. I don't think so. I mean, hey, let's feel the feels. I get it. We're all disappointed. It sucks. But I think if Sean Payton has erred at this stage, and again, it's so early that we can't jump to like total conclusions on this. All right. We got to have at least a modest voice of reason here. If he's erred, it's in building this team up to be a freaking Super Bowl champion before they even step foot on the field, Zach.
Yeah, he's talking about Bo Nix being a top 5 guy in the next couple seasons. The Broncos capable of winning a title this year. It's easy to talk about in August and July, but it's harder to go out and prove it in September and October. And right now, they look the furthest thing from a Super Bowl caliber team.
Boise man, my brother, great to see you. It's been great having you back in the chats lately, big dog. Penalties, he says, play calling, Bo Nix, moon balls. What is our identity? We don't have one. Coaching continues to disappoint year after year. We need a scheme overhaul ASAP. Let Nix cut loose. If he ain't it, we need to know this season. Hashtag MHH for life. I still think it's way too soon to throw in the towel on Bo Nix or to even have the discussion that he ain't it. Like, don't get me wrong. When I say, again, this is why I didn't want the whole me mentioning Drew Lock thing. And hand to God, I didn't know there were some supers like from Riptide saying this reminds me of Drew Lock. I didn't see those yet. There's a reason why I was slightly reluctant and why I qualified it at the top. I don't want this to be misconstrued here. I'm not saying Bo Nix is the new Drew Lock. It's not time to give up on Bo Nix. Far from it. It's time to get to the bottom of why he still looks like he's pressing. Why does Bo Nix still look nervous? Why does Bo Nix still look unsettled every time he hits the back foot? Yeah. These are answers that Sean Payton and his staff, Davis Webb, you got to get to the bottom of it.
And what's with the footwork? Why does it look as sloppy at times as it did in college? He's 2 years removed from that now. So I'm not pointing all at Sean Payton here. He's not the one on the field making the passes, but you got to start to wonder the instruction that he's getting Monday through Saturday, put it that way.
And I mean, a lot of guys looked like they were pressing today. I mean, Troy Franklin coming off a career game, he looked nervous as, I almost said a naughty. He looked nervous as crap, dude. Okay. Omar, again, top rope super chat.
Thank you, Omar.
He's a super chat superstar. Great to see you, buddy. MHH for life. Go Broncos for life from Nigeria. Dude, so generous.
Awesome.
There is a mismatch between scheme and talent. And I'm sorry, we not top. Sean Payton has set that. Oh, sorry, we're not. What is he saying there, Zach? I'm sorry, we're not.
We're not top.
Anyway, Sean Payton has set that expectation. We missed the plays. Nix should have hit Sutton. That's Super Bowl level. Yeah, those aren't throws Lamar misses. Not that he's a Super Bowl quarterback, but you know what I mean. Those aren't throws Josh Allen misses. I can promise you Patrick Mahomes is making wide open throws like that. Disappointing. And again, to me, it's the mark of a quarterback who is pressing. He is not comfortable. And today it's a little bit harder to fault him because that offensive line was trash today. I usually avoid saying trash in any way that, is like, say, oh, this player's trash or this was trash. Today, though, Zach, I'm going to go ahead and embrace the offensive line was trash. And were it not for J.K. Dobbins straight up taking matters into his own hands on a few plays in the second half, they would have had 0 wins today as a unit, an O-line. Omar again, dude. Wow, brother. Thank you, Omar. He's saying Sean Payton set the expectation, and this was a big test. I see. And we looked mediocre. And that's another thing. Before I finish reading his thing, he just triggered a thought I was going to say earlier, which is that I think you could tell guys looked a little tight, right? Again, pressing Bo Nix, a lot of different dudes today. And I think it's because they realized this was an important game relative to AFC West supremacy, A. B, the fact that the Chargers have a 3-win, or I should say the Broncos have a 3-losing streak, 3-gamer. They were in their heads a little bit. Can't beat winning teams, can't beat teams who've been to the playoffs, etc. I agree. We look mediocre. Omar says, I blame the scheme and the play calling, but the fans have the right to be upset after the expectations Payton has set. I agree. And that's a big part of why everyone's feeling the way they are. We'd all be disappointed and kicked in the you-know-what, that feeling in your gut with a 1-2 start, especially the complexion of how these games have been lost, Zach. But the fact that Sean Payton's building Bo Nix into a top 4 or 5 guy and saying in July this is a Super Bowl challenger, it's fallen quite flat.
Yeah, I'm not saying that you're accusing them of this or that you're wrong about this necessarily, but if they were to press to play in Los Angeles, the Chargers, it's not like going in a Foxborough in 2004. This is the Chargers who are known for chargering. So if they can't get up for that game in week 3 with first place on the line, I saw a quote from Alex Singleton, Chad, before the game. He was asked if it's a must win, and he goes, I don't think so. Are we going to die in the locker room if we lose? No. I really hate that answer, and I really hate that mentality. You should play like every game is a must win, and they were very lackadaisical. And that's a continued complaint I have about Sean Payton, is not having the team ready to go. And how could you not? $18 million a year, Super Bowl expectations. You don't have them ready for the quarter 1, quarter 2. Completely unacceptable.
And just back to back, now we have a trend. Fourth quarter meltdowns. Not just like, oh, you sucked in the fourth quarter. You had, what would you define as a commanding lead? 2 scores and above. So maybe not commanding leads, but considering the talent you have on defense and this up and coming, supposedly top 4 or 5 here in the next 2 years, young quarterback and highly paid receiver, those are leads that you should be protecting successfully. Like, I'm sorry, again, I'm going to defend Sean Payton on one point. You should feel comfortable and confident in that scenario on 4th and 1, punting it because of your defense. You believe your defense can at least hold them to a field goal and maintain the lead. It's meltdowns, as Michael Ronquillo, the Ronk, is checking in here. Valued dear friend and member. It's a meltdown. That's why I titled this episode Gut Reaction. Broncos fall in LA fourth quarter meltdowns have become a trend.
And those who've followed VJ closely, or even the Sean Payton Broncos teams closely in the last couple of years, that is their MO. Is that even when they have a lead in the fourth quarter, when the moment becomes too big for them, Chad, they wither down. They play not to lose. They play scared and cowardly. I'll go that far. And I just hate that brand of football, quite frankly.
Just joined, by the way, dude. Welcome. Thank you for
Thank
doing
you.
that. You're the man, dude. For that, I'm going to tell you. I said, hey, join, become a member. You joined. For that, my friend, you get a jersey. All right. Reach out, shoot us an email, milehighhuddle@gmail.com. You're getting a jersey, a Broncos jersey of your choice because you answered the bell, big dog. Send us that email. Jess, a longtime superstar, checking in on Super Chat to say Peyton has to light up Nix in practice and in the media. He's not playing at a high level for us to win. Doesn't help that we have a ton of penalties. Yeah, I mean, the penalties, self-inflicted wounds, quarterback just not in the zone, man. Like, there's been a few moments like, hey, he did, Bo Nix, come through on that fourth down touchdown to Cortland Sutton in the second quarter. But what can you really point to from Bo besides that one play, Zach, today, where you went, it was a gotta-have-it situation, chips down, critical moment, and Bo delivered. That's it. Off the top of my head, that's not enough against an opponent like the Chargers. Justin Herbert, Zach, delivered multiple gotta-have-it moments for his team.
That's fine if he lights up Bo in practice, Jess, but as long as he lights up the offensive line for how bad they looked, as Chad pointed out earlier, and also looks in the mirror and lights up himself because of how poor he coached and how bad the game plan was for the most part. And that's become the trend and MO for Sean Payton, the play calling. We have to have a long, hard conversation about that. Maybe not is it time for him to pass the baton to Davis Webb just yet, because his ego won't allow that quite yet in week 4, Chad, but at least be better. Be so much better, Sean.
Man, I got to tell you, Kevin, thank you for the super chat, big dog. I have been reluctant to get on this bandwagon, but the farther we get into this season and the more people are calling for Sean Payton to give up the play calling to, say, Davis Webb, I'm inching closer to agreement. I'm not quite there. Obviously, Sean Payton has some self-scouting to do, but I'm not quite there. Omar, again, from the top rope, throwing down because Broncos country is not a geographic location. It is a state of being. It's wherever you are. And you, my friend, are in Nigeria. So cool, brother. I love it. Thank you, pal. He says, fans have the right to be upset with this sloppiness against superior teams. We aren't stepping up as a team. I'm more upset with the coaching, the scheme, and yes, I wanted them to go for it on that 4th and 1 because of the momentum of the play. Now, that's a unique angle that deserves some thought, Zach. The Broncos want to stay on the front foot, so to speak, assert their lead, stay aggressive there. Momentum of the play. I mean, I thought Bo Nix had it, right? It looked like he converted that third down with his legs. He ended up his knee coming down a little bit short. I'm actually surprised that Sean Payton didn't challenge it. He's had such success challenging spots, and it's usually, Zach, pretty tough to win spot challenges, right? But what are your thoughts here for Omar on the 4th and 1? Should have gone for it because of the momentum aspect.
Yeah, now I'm realizing earlier in the show I was thinking about a different 4th and 1, so my apologies for that. I understand the argument where I feel like we're going to talk about this 4th and 1 a lot, Chad, and I don't want it to come off like a cop-out, but I don't think the Broncos we should be talking about a 4th and 1 to begin with. If they were better in the other phases of the game, in the first, the second, the third quarter, and even after that 4th and 1, it wouldn't have mattered. So we have to look for everyone to be better in week 4.
Yeah, they went for it on 1 4th down, and that was their first touchdown. The second time, the one that's in question here, of course, they punt. I still think it was the understandable. I think it's hard to point to it and say everyone's got a different gut feel. And like in Omar's case, his gut saying, for momentum purposes, I think we should have gone for it. But I have a hard time faulting Sean Payton for saying, you know what, where are we at that stage? We've held the Chargers to, 10, what was it? 13 points we've held them to at this point. I'm going to trust the defense is going to do its job. And even if they don't and they allow a touchdown, we still got time for my side to drive down and get some points, and it just didn't shake out. David Youngkin, brother, thank you. Sean Payton will not give up play calling. His ego will kill this team. Yeah, well, he's definitely got an ego, Zach. That's for sure. And I think it's time for some self-reflection, whether it's giving up the play calling, I'm not sure, but they got to, fortunately this week, Zach, an extra day of preparation because it's a Monday night game. So hopefully that affords them the opportunity to do just that, Zach, and figure out where they're going wrong from a scheme, from a play calling perspective.
Usually you'd see a younger coach do that who's trying to save his job, not someone like Sean Payton, who's the second highest paid in the NFL, who has such plush job security. You're right. The ego is not going to allow it because you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube after that. The implication was his schemes aren't working, his plays aren't working, and he already failed in the first quarter of the season. You can't come back from that if you're someone like Sean Payton. So maybe he'll take more input during the week from Davis Webb or Lombardi or whoever, but he has to be better by himself on his own under the headset on game days.
Guys, real quick before I grab George here, throwing down some stars, want to remind you, if you're on YouTube right now, we got 500 people in the room. Guys, hit the like button. Help us out, because when this live stream ends, you liking the video, the number of likes will help it in the algorithm reach other viewers and people out there. And it's huge on Facebook as well. And also, don't forget, in the description below, we need you guys. Sign up for the free daily newsletter. Emails once a day to your inbox. You don't miss a thing. George, love you, bud. Says, I still didn't see Bo do any running. He's got to move around. That'll open up a lot of better chances of other plays happening. Broncos for life. Hit the thumbs up. MHH for life. Dude, Bo Nix ran a lot, Zach, today. It's just that his vision wasn't, I don't know. This goes back to, and then we'll grab Hector, but this goes back to how everything seems so dearly bought. Everything seems difficult, just a step behind. Like today, man, yeah, he's just a day late, dollar short situation. His vision's not good. I mean, he straight up goes, I'm gonna do a draw in the red zone, and I'm gonna Javonte Williams this, and literally run straight into the back of my blocker. Like he ran so hard into, I think it was Christian or Luke Wattenberg, Zach. I'm like, dude, I hope he gets up. That's where he's fiddling with his strap before he got up. That play, if you guys can think back, I'm like, dude, I hope he's not concussed. That's how hard he just straight up wasn't hit and then fell into the guy. He just goes, there's a big broad back. I'm going to run into it as hard as I can. It was weird.
And he also took on defenders, Chad, in the open field. He wasn't sliding. He wasn't going down easy. He's a gamer, man. What more can we say? That's just who he is.
Hector, good to have you. Welcome. Thank you for the super chat, big dog, saying no worse feeling than knowing that we were going to lose that game when Bo had the ball with 2 minutes to go. Penalties are on the coaching staff, in my opinion. I mean, yeah, but Bo, again, is the big reason the Broncos lost today, but people do not for a second let go of holding the defense accountable for back-to-back games where they allowed big, long drives, scoring drives, and gave up the ghost. Like Bo Nix, you can make the argument. Again, I still think he's, Doug, yes, speechless, almost right there with you, except we got a job to do. You can make that argument, Zach, that Bo Nix was as complicit as anybody, but in 2 consecutive games, he had done his job in the sense of, hey, your job's never done. As long as the clock's still ticking, I get that. But he did what a quarterback's job is to do, and that is we got a fourth quarter lead. Give us a little help, defense. Do your part here. And they didn't answer the bell.
But the entire team being so inconsistent on a week-to-week basis. I mean, he threw 3 touchdowns last week, Chad, and he played overall solid except for that interception, which, was tipped or whatever. But the defense, they put the clamps on an opponent in week 1. I know it was Cam Ward, but then a few weeks later, they can't stop someone in crunch time. Last week, they couldn't stop Daniel Jones, couldn't stop a nosebleed. Where is the consistency? And that top to bottom, that's not a Bo Nix issue. That's a coaching issue.
Omar again from the top row, buddy.
Oh, wow.
Thank you.
Thank you, man.
What else can we say, bud? He says, I don't blame Nix. This was a team coaching failure. MHH for life. And I love the Broncos, but this hurts. That's why it hurts, bro, because you love the Broncos. And another one.
Omar,
another one. We're like DJ Khaled. Another one. Omar going off. He says defense didn't step up when needed. I agree fully, Zach.
Yeah, Omar, thank you so much, man. Yeah, a lot of culprits for this one. We'll talk about it for the rest of this pod tomorrow on KK throughout the week. But the defense, that's been a continuing Achilles heel about VJ. I've called it out for years. When you need a stop in the fourth quarter, when you have to have it, or overtime, they wither. They allow it. They give up the ghost chat, as you like to say.
No doubt about it. Again, Omar, dude, huge night. Thank you, my friend.
Yeah,
Means
thank
a
you, Omar.
lot to us. Kevin, again, good to have you. 2 super saying all discipline. Too many penalties. VJ doesn't know what to do for the middle of the field. He needs to go. Blitzing is all he's got. I can't see this lasting. Do you? Do you see VJ in any way, shape, or form being in danger of losing his gig?
If they didn't fire him after 70, 70-20, whatever it was, I can't remember anyway. I think he has solid job security. And I think Sean Payton's going to hope that Vance turns it around where he can get a head coaching job. That would give the Broncos 2 third-round picks. Why let him go for free?
Yeah, I understand the sentiment, and I agree with you that there's some unsettling trends popping up here relative to the defense, but I don't think it's a realistic expectation that Vance Joseph is going to get fired. As much as fans don't understand it, he is loved in that building, and Sean Payton, just because of the ego thing. I mean, he knew he was cutting against the grain, so to speak. He was swimming upstream when he decided to hire the team's very recent failed head coach as defensive coordinator. And that's a hill he will die on because of his ego. So, Ted, good to see you, pal. This is a mental thing. They learned how to win big last year. Now they have to learn to win close by putting games away with first downs and stops and no penalties, all during these money moments of the games. MHH for life. Exactly. And that's why it's like on X, if you guys are following, I'm talking about, I don't know what it was, maybe halfway through the game, I'm going, Talanoa Hufanga. We can be up in arms over the Dre Greenlaw thing, Evan Ingram out, but Talanoa Hufanga has been everything. We talked about it at halftime, Zach. Everything that this team hoped he'd be. And then he goes and makes a boneheaded, stupid. Again, this is not WWE, bro. I mean, even if that was within the bounds of the whistle, which it was not, you don't think that if you suplex a cat, you're not going to get a penalty and you're protecting a 7-point lead? You got to be smarter than that. Sorry.
Scott made a funny comment in the side chat. Yeah, I love how he plays. Like his hair's on fire. He's Troy Polamalu Jr. 2.0, whatever you want to call him. But you have to be smarter in key situations. You have to know playing to the whistle, not through the whistle. You have to know that you're going to be more heavily scrutinized because you're a Sean Payton coach team and the referees are going to want to throw the flag. Don't give them any reason to.
Colin jumping in again. Thank you, brother. Sean needs to just shut up in the offseason. First, the Hackett comment, that blew up in his face, right? The Jets got the last laugh. We were there for that. Then the Super Bowl comment, have some self-awareness, dude. I agree. He's a guy that very much likes the sound of his own voice, right? And guys like that have to be careful. It's really kind of bizarre because on one hand, Zach, he's very tight-lipped about certain things, right? He won't talk injuries. He won't say anything in a press conference that would in any way, shape, or form give it advantage to an opponent. And yet he'll show tremendous lapses by the Hackett thing and even the Super Bowl thing and the Bo Nix top 5 guy thing. That wasn't said, by the way, in a press conference. That was an on-the-record quote delivered to a journalist. I think in this case, it was Albert Breer this past summer on the Super Bowl thing. The year prior with, 2023 with Hackett, Jarrett, what was his name? Zach, USA Today, Jarrett.
Bell?
I think that's it. Either way. So he knows what he's doing. He knows when he's on the record, but he can't help himself because he's Sean Payton.
Yeah, again, Colin, it's the same point, and you're right. Same point I made earlier tonight. It's easy to say those things in July and August when everyone's team is 0-0, everything's sunshine and rainbows, and everyone is dreaming of the Lombardi. But it's harder when you go through adversity to maintain that posture, and you end up looking stupid when you're proclaiming these things. You can't blame the outside media, you can't blame the fan base, you blame yourself because you're the one who put those expectations on Bo Nix's shoulders, on the team's shoulders. We thought going into the season, Chad, coming out of the preseason, that they can handle them. Now there's definitely more doubts at the very least than there were.
Dude, and I think it has a lot to do with why Bo and so many other players look uncomfortable and like they're pressing,
Maybe.
like something is weighing them down, something, an invisible force that they can't see. And it's that expectation. Sean Payton, and time will tell whether he ends up being right. I don't think he was right at this stage. It's obviously looks like he was wrong. But if the Broncos turn this thing around and become a juggernaut, everybody will be looking back going, oh, it turns out he was a genius. Right now, it doesn't look like it. Invisible force weighing him down. It's the only thing that really explains what we're seeing because, yeah, Bo Nix, the sophomore slump thing is a thing in the NFL when it comes to quarterbacks, but typically you don't see it as often. It's not as common for a quarterback, a highly drafted guy who succeeds in year one, steps back in year two, and between year one and year two, there wasn't a coaching or a schematic change. How else do you explain Bo Nix looking the way he's looking? James Todd, brother. Thank you, pal. Good to see you. We got to see what an actual QB looks like in LA today. You hit any of those deep passes and you win the game. I'm kind of over Bo, and I have my doubts that he's the franchise quarterback we need. Also, Moss and McMillan are overhyped. Moss, man, he giveth and he taketh away. I don't think this was on Moss. Man, you don't get that extra field goal. I mean, if he doesn't tip that pass, he's a guy that is always going to walk the line, Zach, when it comes to the razor thin margin of error that exists in the NFL. And that's kind of the name of the game for cornerbacks, period, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, we can have a whole other discussion whether the Broncos should have drafted differently than take Jahdae Barron this past April. But when it comes to Bo, I'm not out quite yet on him being the Broncos' potential franchise quarterback. I still think the best is yet to come for him in his NFL career. I don't know that he's getting the best coaching during the games or the best instruction during the week, but there's also a lot on him too. His footwork, how much he's pressing, the throws that he's missing. He was built for his accuracy, Chad. There's no reason why he's overthrowing someone 3 times in a certain game with the game on the line, as was the case in the fourth quarter tonight.
Way too soon, guys. Way too soon to throw the baby out with the bathwater. We are at almost 50 minutes. We're going to rapid fire through some very patient superstars here who've been waiting for us to address their supers, starting with G4S Troy. How is this team far worse than last year's? Nix is a horrible QB. It's absolutely pathetic. A shame it doesn't seem like we have the answer at quarterback. It's not looking good so far. It's not looking good early this year, Zach. Bo Nix looks a little, as we said, he just looks off.
It's funny how much different a season can be, the difference a year can make, Chad, because the Broncos have the same record through 3 games as they did last year, but they were coming off that Bucs upset in week 3, and everyone was feeling better about
Yeah.
Bo. Now in week 3 this year, everyone's kind of down on Bo.
It's kind of funny because 1 and 2 after week 3, both years. So about the only thing that's gone according to plan for Sean Payton thus far is he won the season opener. Like he wanted to snap that streak, and he did. Riptide, this Dre Greenlaw thing is bothering me. Yeah, dude, it should bother you. The Broncos have mismanaged that situation.
Yep.
I don't fault them for taking a chance, but they should have been smart and just put him on IR to begin with. George, please put this site you said to join the register for the jersey. Well, I said register for the email. It's in the description. So check on Facebook. Expand the details. You'll see the link to sign up for the newsletter. Antoine Curry, thank you for the super chat, big dog. I said this beginning of the year, and I got laughed at. Coach needs to give up play calling. # overthrow Bo. Yeah, I don't know. That's a common thread we're hearing from people. Matthew Beatty jumping in. Sean is playing not to lose. How about play for the win and go for the first down? That 4th and 1 sticking in people's craws, Zach.
That's becoming his calling card in Denver so far as Broncos head coach, coming up small in crunch time.
Addison, good to see you, pal. Thank you for the super. Lots of blame to go around, but Bo is becoming a big question mark. His accuracy all over the place, no doubt about it. Riptide, at least, like Singleton said, they didn't die. That's true. Art H, welcome. Newer name. Very disappointed in Bo Nix's deep throws. Yeah, dude. I agree with, I forget, there's been so many supers tonight. Thank you guys who said it. But if Bo Nix connects on even one of those those three misses downfield, it's an easy victory. Gene William, I don't have words to express how upset I am. I feel you, bud. You have every reason to be. That's 2 weeks in a row they squandered a fourth quarter lead. D Porter, good to have you, pal. Hey guys, brutal effing loss. Here to support my brother Naj, because he's here through the thick and the thin. That's right, dude. Good to see you. Hopefully we'll see you at the meet and greet with Naj, my brother. Week 7, October 19th. It's going to be so fun.
Yeah, I can't wait for that. Regardless of how today turned out, Chad, regardless of how the season started so far, the meet and greet is going to be the best one yet. I absolutely cannot wait for it.
By the way, Zach, real quick, Riptide brought it up. You haven't had a chance to talk about this. I did Orange and Blue View yesterday with Ron, so I got to share my thoughts on this. But what's your gut reaction to Dre Greenlaw going on IR yesterday?
I agree with you. I think the Broncos mishandled it. I think they were deceptive with the media in terms of his recovery timeline. 12 days ago, Sean Payton said you're going to see him sooner rather than later. And now 12 days later, he's on IR out for the next 4 games. So either they knew all along and led the public astray, or Greenlaw suffered a setback recently and Sean Payton wouldn't comment on it. Either way, Chad, it's kind of reprehensible.
Good word. Reprehensible. That's the word of the day. Reprehensible to meltdown in back-to-back fourth quarters. Reprehensible to mismanage a high-profile free agent signing. The only silver lining is if he ends up being a Randy Gregory bust after this season, we'll see. Fingers crossed that it's not that. They're only on the hook for the $11.5 million that he was guaranteed. Casey, jumping in again. We need Dre Greenlaw, but at some point, these close games will tick our way. Well, that's the hope. Again, trying to put a positive spin on it. You learn more from defeat and losses, and when you come up short. And now 2 games in a row, they have nobody to blame but themselves. Let's hope that education serves them moving forward. Patriot Tex didn't feel they improved in the draft. I still don't like Sean Payton or George Payton. This team is average at best. Bye-bye playoffs, fun while it lasted. I mean, I don't know about that stuff, but Eric Young jumping in. Football is a game of inches. 3 near misses throwing, and the Knicks run just short. It will go out way too soon. Yeah, you're reminded, Zach, of Vic Fangio on the whole game of inches thing that was such a convincing argument to John Elway in person that he just had to hire Vic instead of, he had already decided Mike Munchak was his guy, but that game of inches, death by inches thing swung Elway. That was Fangio's own little fourth quarter comeback. Swag Nash, I'm sorry, I hate to say this, but I think our best QB is on the bench. We lose next week, and it's over. On to next season. We are not beating the Eagles. Brad, dude, we'll come back to that thought. B-Rad again. Hey, guys, please stop with the Stidham stuff. He's not good. If he was, he'd be a starter on another team. Yeah, I mean, he's talking to the chat. Neither Zach or I are in any way, shape, or form advocating for Jarrett Stidham.
Listen, I don't care how bad the Bengals got beat today and how they're going to be pissed off next week. If the Broncos cannot beat a Burrow-less Bengals team coming off 2 straight losses now, they don't deserve to make the playoffs anyway. That's where I stand with week 4.
But again, this is why you can't afford to lose games like this where you're in the lead in the fourth quarter. Like, you got to win these games because the schedule in this particular season, guys, does not let up. The great one in the house, dude. Thank you. The team plays not to lose. They're losers. Unacceptable and ridiculous. Back to the QB and coach carousel? No. Not anytime soon. I mean, that's the one thing Sean Payton has definitely in spades is job security. And Bo Nix as well. He was so good as a rookie, set so many records, not just franchise Zach, but a lot of league marks. He'll be given way more rope than just, 3 games into his second year. There's a lot of football left to play, guys. Like, let's back off the ledge a little bit here. Let's take a step back. You still got 14 more games to right the ship.
And we have to know by end of year, one way or the other, is Bo Nix the guy for the next 5 or 10? And we know Sean Payton is the middle, medium term, short term answer as head coach. Bo Nix could be the long term answer. That's still the most important question they have to answer in 2025.
If you peer through the mist, you might see a Yeti staring right back at you. Here he is on Super Chat, Yeti in the mist. I feel like we just don't have the players to execute Peyton's scheme. There's just a lack of talent on both sides of the ball. No defense is scared of any player we have on offense, and no one gets open. Yeah, I mean, I still think it's not so much a Jimmy and Joe's. It's more scheme. Like, let's not circle back to, oh, we're lacking the talent here. I don't think it's that. I think it's intangible stuff. It's stuff that you can't quite sink your teeth into. It's want to, it's poise, it's been there, done that kind of stuff, confidence, scheme, play calling in the moment. The Broncos are just coming up short, but the season is young.
Yeah, the season is young. They could still turn it around. Bad loss today, but a lot of ball left to go.
Mile High, till the day I die. Again, jumping in. Thank you, pal. Honestly, I would have felt the same. A loss is a loss. The point is he gave up on fourth down. I'm done. The Broncos laying down when it counts. First down could have made the difference. Could. Yeah. Omar again,
Man.
bro.
Thank
Yo,
you.
let's hear some
Wow.
wisdom from Omar. He says, I'd rather lose early than win later. I hope the team, scheme, coach is understanding the pressure. Sean Payton's system is about precision, and Sean Payton has to match the team and the scheme. Thank you, MHH. Go Broncos. Thank you, Omar. Seriously, man. Your generosity tonight has been off the charts.
Yeah, and you're correct, Omar. I'm not just saying that because you've been so generous. It's a lot on the coaching, the schemes on both sides of the ball, and also on special teams. So Sean Payton, Vance Joseph, Darren Rizzi, and the staff underneath them, the players also executing on the field. When you lose or win in the NFL, it's a team effort. It's rarely just one factor. And in this game, as with last week, there are a lot of culprits on the line here, at stake here.
And look, Bo Nix, Sean Payton, they got to ask themselves some tough questions, man. Like, why are we falling short in the fourth quarter consistently? Why am I missing wide open deep throws that would have been money for our team? Mile High again. Honestly, would have felt, oh, we got this one. We got this one. Quincy Edmonds, it's great to have you, pal. He says it's easy to be a couch coach, keyboard warrior, but Sean Payton isn't helping Bo with the play calling. Bo needs to build chemistry with his receivers. Yeah, I just think there's not enough. They're not working the middle of the field enough in the passing game. They're just they're living and dying by the deep shots. And today, Bo Nix just had no time to throw at all, man. Like, so on one hand, you understand why Zach, he looks a little unsettled because he literally was unsettled. He did not get a chance to set up. But at the same time, it's been a trend now through 3 games. Simon Arlo, first time, long time. Love the show, dude. Welcome
Thank you, Simon.
to Super Chat. Thank you for being here, big dog. Don't be a stranger. Friendly Giant, that rookie Gadsden just outplayed our entire tight end room. Looking back, were Peyton and Peyton a little arrogant to draft luxury backups instead of needs? Time will tell, but that's definitely more the approach they took here. Like a team that's 3-4 years into being a playoff contender, we're going to kind of draft for depth instead of needs. You know, depending on what kind of draft wisdom you want to subscribe to, they did the right things in terms of best player available, regardless of whether he's helping us year one or not. But they did miss some opportunities, if you want to look at it that way. I'm not saying I am, to add some immediate impact. But again, it would have been hard. Where do you fit him in? Even a guy like Zadeh Barron, he's a very good, highly touted player, having a hard time seeing the field because the Broncos do have talent. Riptide, I'm simmering down. Knicks will be okay. Monday night against the Bengals will show that. I just feel it. Love it, dude. I hope you're right. I unfortunately, as you guys know, I kind of had a bad feeling about this game. I picked against the Broncos in the round table, not with pleasure. It's not because that's what I wanted to see. It was just a feeling I had. And I wish I was wrong. I genuinely do. Mile High till the day I die again. And this is, I think, at least it's starting out the way I in a good way. I'm not giving up hope, he says. I've seen worse plays for us. But, man, I just wonder if Peyton has lost a step. And I'm not out on Nix. But if he's flat when we need him, rest him for a few series. Yeah, just NFL teams, they just don't think that way. You know what I mean? Like especially at quarterback, when they go with their guy, he's the guy, ride or die. That's that. Riptide, to me, Pat Bryant is a superior receiver than Mims or Franklin. Well, look, as much as we like Zach, let's get you in on this. Seeing Franklin last week do his thing, today he looked so kind of out of sorts. He had a nice effort play there in the fourth quarter on a screen where he made some guys miss, but otherwise he looked very out of sorts today. Makes you want to kind of say, hey, Pat Bryant, step on up.
I mentioned last week it might be too many mouths to feed in this Broncos offense. We got Nate Dizzle, $5 super. Thank you so much, Nate. Honestly, I think the defense did its job for the most part. The offense has to be able to stick the knife in and get the kill. This team just isn't ready. They haven't been able to do that, Nate, in 10 years since Vance Joseph has been associated with this operation. Not all on him, but that's a big Achilles heel, is the inability to close on defense.
Coffees for closers. That means Broncos get no Starbucks this week. Chris Bell, welcome, dude. Good to see you. Great member, new member. We can't afford any more reset seasons. I know it's still early, but losing the last 2 games we played hurts so bad. This was a must win, and we blew it bad. Yeah, we did. And the hardest part to sit with, Zach, is it was another fourth quarter meltdown. You had this game in hand. Did you have it totally in control where, like, again, this wasn't a multi-score lead. It was a single touchdown lead in the fourth quarter, but you squandered it. Took a lot of things to get to that point is what I'm saying. A lot of little factors and forks in the road that had to go the wrong way. How do you allow so many of those forks to go against you? That's what Sean Payton has to figure out.
And how many 3-and-outs on offense and how many third downs on defense with the chance to get off the field did the defense not?
Longtime Mount Rushmore superstar and a close friend, George Vandermark. Is it hockey season yet? Go Devils. I don't know. I'm not much of a hockey guy, but I've always wanted to get into it. I don't know. But Don Keefen, welcome. Patrick, the Starfish, jumping in. Don, thanks, pal. Feed Dobbins, replace Moss, and trade for a wide receiver or linebacker. They definitely need some help at linebacker. I'm not ready to, again, start saying we lack talent at wide receiver. We don't. This is a scheme thing. This is an intangible thing. It's a quarterback thing more than it's a talent thing on wide receiver. I'm telling you. But the linebacker thing, that's an issue here, Zach. Riptide, you punt on that 4th and 1 if you've got an elite defense. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I don't fault him. Casey, again, bro, thank you. Next week, Denver plays the Bengals. And if Denver wins, it's still not going to feel good because it isn't winning when it matters most. And, a lot of people will be like, oh, well, yeah, they beat the Bengals, but without Joe Burrow, you'll get that kind of thing. But I don't care. You just need to start balancing the standings, bro. You're in a hole now, Zach, 1 and 2. Mile High, again, just joined Mount Rushmore. Not sure what it actually means, but it feels good. LOL. Dude, thank you for doing that, big dog. Really appreciate you. Right Wing, Nut Job became a member. Dude, the members are rolling in. I love it. J-Da Reactor jumping in to say, you draft Barron with the first-round pick. Why is he not doing more? Riley Moss is killing me in coverage. Linebacker core is trash. I agree with you on the linebacker point. And Riley Moss, he makes great plays, gives up plays, gets penalized, but it's a tough position, dude. I mean, I'm telling you guys, it doesn't matter who you put in opposite Pat Surtain. Riley Moss is giving you about as good as you can hope to get for that situation where you're going to get that many outsized level of looks. David, inconsistency is well known, goes hand in hand with the Broncos of late. That's certainly a thing, Zach.
Absolutely. Jay Milzo Gaming, $5 super, just joined. I'm sorry, Bo has got to stop overthrowing receivers when they're wide open. Riley Moss against T. Higgins next week ain't good, undisciplined team. It's a big difference. I know it's not necessarily a must win by the letter, but a lot of big difference between being 2 and 2 versus 1 and 3.
Naj Al-Taf again, brother, saying, my feeling, Peyton unnecessarily put added pressure on Nix, and he's struggling with it. But, man, Sutton looks awesome. Mims is getting open. J.K. Dobbins, solid. We cannot blow the game next week. At home, we need to dominate. And, again, you're going up against a Browning kid that, he doesn't have that arm talent. He's super smart. He's super high-level thinker as far as the football IQ goes. But, Zach, he doesn't have that kill you killer right arm, so to speak.
No, but they were blown out today. They looked atrocious in their defeat. So they're going to be a little pissed off and wanting to have some retribution against that. The Broncos are going to have to be on their game and be on their toes for all 4 quarters.
Guys, you are going off. I'm looking at the numbers. We're almost to 100 super chats today. You guys are freaking on fire. Isaiah 1127. Moss kept getting picked on, and he isn't making the plays needed. Is he the guy? I'm telling you, find me a guy who could do better in that same situation opposite PS2. And don't forget that tip pass, that pass breakup that was picked off by Brandon Jones that not only took a field goal off the board for the Chargers, but led to a field goal for the Broncos, 6-point swing. So he does make plays, but no cornerback is going to be perfect, especially against a guy who is arguably this season anyway, the best quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah, but Moss is the epitome of the Broncos right now, completely inconsistent from down to down. He can look amazing, and he can look like the weak link of the defense.
Yeah, that's a good point, too. Not only did the Bengals get beat by 38, but Carson Wentz was the Vikings quarterback. Viper from Mexico, dude, thank you. Welcome. Great to have you. Hashtag state of being, brother. Last week, Peyton shot himself in the foot. Now, somehow, he decided to shoot his other foot. Can't close games because he's too undisciplined. And then I'll just add to this, Viper. Let's get Sean Payton a freaking wheelchair, Zach, because he's shot both his feet now.
Yeah, Riptide, $2 super. Thank you. 1 and 2, not 1 and 9, fellas. Not time to panic. Absolutely. A lot of ball left to go this year.
Doc JC, a great member and superstar, jumping in saying, so painful. Calm down. Yes. Horrible losses on 2 last-second field goals, back-to-back weeks. Let's get back to running better and playing better defense. Core philosophies, core principles. And it's good that the Broncos outrushed their opponent. I mean, for what it's worth today, the Broncos finished with 118 rush yards, while the Chargers rushed for 106, Zach. But that's still the first time this season the Chargers got over 100 yards rushing.
But the Broncos have to find their identity, Chad, or else I'm thinking to myself, they're going to be something like 1 and 9. I mean, how well are they going to look going up against a team like Philadelphia or these legitimate Super Bowl contenders if they don't at least find their identity on offense, running or pass first team?
Riptide's asking for prayers on Super Chat. Says, say a prayer for my family. Sister-in-law has days. Cancer sucks. I will definitely keep you in my thoughts and prayers, big dog, and your family and your sister. Much love and respect, big dog.
Yeah, that's no words can really be said to match that, but you're in my thoughts, my prayers.
Sorry about that, Zach. Keep a stiff upper lip. Missed 4J jumping in, a member with a very awesome super chat. Thank you. 5 sacks, a fumble, an interception. I thought we won. Smiley face. Yeah, once again, the Broncos, Zach, are on the wrong end of it. So week 1, they're the only team in the NFL that lost the turnover battle but won their game. Today, they win the turnover battle, yet lose. Make it make sense.
That's the NFL.
All right, guys, we got a couple messages for you before we dip. Then we'll take one last look at the chat. Don't go anywhere.
Tremendous episode, as always, of the Mile High Huddle podcast. If you're not doing so, please follow us on X at the MHH pod. You can follow the main account on X at Mile High Huddle, Chad at Chad and Jensen, myself at Kelberman NFL, and Scott, our producer, at Scout Kennedy. If you guys want some merch like we're rocking each and every single podcast, check out MHHmerch.com and get you some. If you haven't done so yet, please drop us a like at Facebook.com/Mile High Huddle pod. You can find us on Instagram at Mile_High_Huddle. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, make sure you're leaving your football pre-save 5-star review for a chance to win some merch each and every single month. But if anything, y'all, very important as always that you subscribe, you like, you share this video and every video you see on the MHH channel. It really helps us grow and reach more Broncos fans just like you.
We've got a couple more super chats to get to. And before we do, guys, I just got to tell you, I just took a peek at the likes on YouTube and I'm sad. It's like 136 likes on the live YouTube stream. We have, even still with the podcast almost at its end, we have 3 times that many people in the chat right now. Come on, guys, we need you on that front. Hook us up. Byron, great to have you, my friend. Is it me? Or does it feel like these refs just have it out for the Broncos when the game is on the line? Shake my head, Broncos for life. Well, I feel you. Zach made a point to that with Peyton's resume or reputation, I guess. But Zach, it doesn't, what do you expect him to do when a guy suplexes another 2 seconds after the whistle? Like, they're going to throw the flag. They have to.
Hey, but how about jumping before the snap or too many men on the field? These procedural or pre-snap penalties, that's completely a discipline coaching thing, and that can't happen for a team with Super Bowl aspirations. It really just can't.
Chris Bell again, thank you, brother. I hoped this game would have been a win, especially how the other games in the league, very crazy games today went, but let's go. Giants beat the Chiefs. Yeah, happening. Let's go. Today, we're all Giants fans, Zach.
Yes, I have Malik Neighbors in my fantasy team, so I'm hoping for a Giants blowout. For once, for this week only, I'm a big Russell Wilson guy.
But man, the Chargers, they're starting to run away with the Dakgum division. Naj,
Yep.
third super chat
Thank you,
with
Naj.
another dose of wisdom, much needed. And then we're going to dip on out of here. Naj says, I get the frustration of Broncos country, but we will get these guys again. We will win the division. I love it. I love the confidence. I love the optimism. I'm always the guy, you can kick me, I'll go down. I'm going to get up and I'm going to try and find the angle on the bright side. And I think that's how you win. That's how you maintain a successful outlook, life. You got to get up off the mat, find the silver lining, learn from your mistakes. And I think, Zach, the Broncos, they got a lot of learning to do because they made a lot of mistakes over the last 2 games. I mean, to lose in such similar fashion in back-to-back weeks. But I think this season is young. And as Naj says, we're going to see the Chargers again, and go Giants.
One game at a time, and you can only play the teams that are in front of you. And the next team in front of the Broncos is, again, a Burrowless Bengals team at Mile High, Monday Night Football. They have to start with that game, win, and go from there.
Mile High's throwing down supers, multiple. He's subscribing, becoming a member. He's liking, he's sharing. What else can you expect him to do? To that I say, my brother, nothing. Thank you for answering the bell. Thank you for genuinely helping take some ownership with us on this. When we ask and you guys answer, nothing brings us greater joy, and like, it's genuinely an honor. I appreciate that. I appreciate your support, big dog. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll echo that. Thank you so much.
All right, guys, before we dip on out of here, a special shout out, Mile High salute. We got a long list here, but we're getting to it. We're almost 100. To the Super Chat Superstar supporters and members tonight, keeping the lights on at MHH. Rip Die, Diamond Rattler, Cullen, B Rad, Eric Holt, Papa Bear, Taylor Christensen, Friendly Giant, Casey Nickel, Mile High Till the Day I Die, TDV 22, Chris Hernandez, legend, Jordan Mall of the Dark Lord of the Sith, Right Wing Nut Job, Rip Die again, Just, Boise Man, Ronk. Let's see, Jess, good to see you. Lady D, David Yunkin, George Fox, Omar becoming a member, throwing down multiple troopers. Hector, let's see, Doug Raquel, Kevin, Ted Wonderlick, hope to see you in October. Cullen, again, James Todd, G4S Troy. Let's see, Naj, multiples. Boise Man also becoming a member, dude. Thank you, brother, and a superstar. George Fox, Antoine Curry, it was great to see you, buddy. Same to you, Matthew Beatty and Addison. Let's see, Gene William, Let's Go Brace Girdles. Art H, D Porter, Patriot Tex. I mean, all these supers from Omar. Eric Young, Swag Nash, the great one. Yeti in the Mist, Quincy Edmonds, Simon Arlo, Friendly Giant. Let me see. Kevin, Nate Dizzle, Chris Bell, George, give our best to Jazzy, Don. Let's see. Of course, Casey multiples, Omar multiples. Hey, Right Wing became a member. Thank you, brother. Jay the Reactor, Jay Milzo Gaming. Yeah, we got this one. Oh, yeah, we got this one. Thank you, Jay Milzo. Isaiah, Viper in Mexico. So cool, man. Let's see. James, the Doc JC, Missed 4J, Byron Lewis. And if we in any way, shape, or form missed one, I don't think we did, but if we missed you on YouTube or if we missed you on Facebook, cut us some slack. Let us know and we'll make it up to you. Trust on that. Keep your chin up, guys. The season is young. Zach and I, we're back tomorrow night for the aftermath. And don't forget, Broncos for breakfast on the bright.
Yeah, plenty to still unpack about this game. We'll go over more tomorrow night on the Aftermath episode. Have a great rest of your Sunday. We will see you then. Take care, and as always, go Broncos.